Hey, Bikeaholic, Zero 3D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing. Named Gold Strike, top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Zero 3D products. Got an email here from John Valaza of Prescott, Arizona. He writes, I have a 2013 Street Glide that I've added some flash to since I bought it new. Recently, I was able to pay it off. Now, I'd really like to get some more power. I've installed a Harley Snorkel air intake, an added CFR exhaust system, dynoed also. It's been fine, runs fantastic. Now, after trying to get around some slower traffic, I've decided I want more power, ! My bike's the way I want it to look. So buying a new one wasn't the way I wanted it to. I'm not sure what he's doing. Do you get that? The way I wasn't it to look. So buying a new one. Anyways, all right, he's buying a new one. Well, nah. Okay, I was considering going to a stage 5. I'm at a stage 2. Your feelings on the stage 5 system? Does the money justify the extra power, and will it really feel the difference? Thanks. P.S. Almost all of the upgrades I've done, I've been able to do due to your videos, so that saved me a couple bucks. The info has been spot on. Now I'm going to give my response, and then Big Daddy, you give your response too, and or tell me I'm wrong. So I said my personal opinion, this is my personal opinion, is that you can only do so much to the motor before there are possible undesired consequences. Stage 5 upgrades reduce the life of the engine significantly. We have even heard that you need a rebuild at 20 to 30,000 miles. Yes, they have nice power, but it comes at a heavy cost. But for some, rebuilding at 20K is just fine. I just think that for constant riding and touring cross country, it's not worth it to have to worry about the reliability of the motor. If a guy is only around short distances around town or drag racing, events, stuff like that, then heck, maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's a second bike. Maybe it's a play bike and you just want that monster power and it's just kind of for show. What say you, Big Daddy? Am I full of shit?
No, I mean, there's been some rumors of some of the stage 4s, having some issues.
I said stage 5. I'm sorry. I meant
stage 4 the first time.
I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Here, I mean, he's talking about the Harley Davidson actual stage systems. He's not talking about adding accessory parts like S&S Cycle, who we're not affiliated with, but they have their own power kits and stuff
stage
that they
4
do.
Kits, basically.
They're the Harley Davidson system. Basically, stage 1, you're updating the air
and exhaust.
Stage 2, you're adding a cam, and depending on the model, but like a touring bike, there's a horsepower cam and a torque cam. And the mechanics that I've spoken to say that the stage 2 and 3 are really good to have. And then intermixed in all that is the new big bore kits that Harley's doing. So you can take your 114 up to a 122 or even a 131 now with the big. So, and then you can even get into the middle of saying, okay, what's better? Is it better for me to go from 114 to 122, or should I do a stage 2 or 3 kit? It really depends. It really depends on the amount of money that you have and what you're willing to spend. I was told by a mechanic that I know that he would never put a stage 4 into his bike just because you're going to run it a certain way and it's going to wear the motor out.
I agree.
Versus you can take your bike, you can spend $5-6 grand and you can take it to a 131 big bore. And part of that will include the stage 1, the stage 2. Stage 3, you start talking about getting into heads. So you're replacing it with Screaming Eagle heads. Just remember though, guys, every time that you're doing anything with the MoCo and it's a performance enhancement, understand it is still has to be EPA compliant.
Right.
So if you own the bike and you really want to get performance out of it, I personally would not waste my money on having the dealer put in a stage 3 or stage 4 kit. I would seek out other sources such as S&S Cycle. S&S Cycle has power kits that will blow your mind. recently, Mark Arnold, he replaced his entire engine. He was going to do that. He was going to do a power kit and rebuild, and he ended up just replacing it with an S&S motor.
Mark Arnold from Canada, shout out, Patreon member.
He just replaced the whole motor. So
and he did the work himself.
He did.
He documented it all in the private Facebook group.
Yeah, and he, he learned a lot out of that's a process, because you're not only replacing a motor that's bigger than what you had originally, but you're having to get it to fix, and then of course he had to do the tranny. So he did some of that stuff, and
he ran into some issues.
He did
different stuff. You got to be patient.
Yeah, and
so you don't do that stuff normally.
I would just say if you just got the bike and you got it paid off, if you want to go with the Harley Davidson performance kits, there's nothing wrong with that. Just understand that you've now tied yourself to EPA standards, which in some states you have to do. So I get that. The other thing is you've tied yourself to Harley Davidson tuning only.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything's going to go through
Screaming Eagle tuner.
The Pro Street tuner.
Yep.
And then, so everything you do, you're never going to maximize what you think you're going to get. Yeah, you're going to get more horsepower, you're going to get more torque, you're going to be a faster bike, but you're going to be within the limitations to ensure that you're EPA compliant.
Because they're a big company and they watch them like a hawk. Yeah. Aftermarket companies don't have to worry about it.
Well, I mean, the thing is if you buy an S&S power kit and you put it, you have a mechanic or you do it yourself and put it in, if you're in a state that doesn't have emissions testing, then it's not such a big deal. If you're in a state that does,
California.
But S&S also makes EPA compliant type stuff. So you can do whatever you want. But I mean, I'm just saying, for me, I mean, if I was going to do something, and I've asked the mechanic this, I said, what would be better, a stage 3 or do the big bore kit to 122? And he goes, stage 3. You'll get better numbers out of a stage 3 even with the smaller engine. Okay, what about the 131? 131 is quite a big jump, and it's actually less mechanical components that you're changing. You're putting in the cam and the bore and stuff, but on some of these you get too big. You're actually talking about breaking the case, splitting the case to get the new flywheel in and stuff. And the stage 4 does that. So now you're having to have a machinery guy split the case to get that in there. So it's really goes back to whatever you want. What do you want to do? What is your expectations? If you want to keep it all Harley Davidson, then, that's fine. For me, on my Ultra, I think the only thing I would probably ever do is just put in a stage 2 cam.
You're right. I agree.
Just put in a stage 2
especially
cam.
if you're going to tour.
Yeah.
If just for touring, I put in, at the most, a good cam, and, whether it's a torque cam or a horsepower cam, it's kind of up to you.
It's
but
different. They have different results based on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put the 122 big bore kit, and that's just basically replacing the cylinders, and you can put a stage 2 cam in it. And if it's a big heavy bike and you're doing a lot of 2-up riding or a lot of touring, the torque cam is better. It will give you some great results as far as picking that up. If you're on a lighter bike, maybe like a Street Glide, but you don't really tour with it, but you've got it legendary suspension on it, lower, and you're basically just riding it around town, and you're looking, then the horsepower cam may work for you. It will give you higher performance in those higher RPM ranges. So it just depends what you want. I mean, when mine's paid for and everything's done, I'll probably do one of the S&S hot setup kits.
Yeah.
They make good stuff.
Yep.
They're well known. They've been around forever.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's making Harley stuff. Maybe it's them. I don't know who makes their stuff. But for the money, I'd rather have an S&S hot setup kit.
Yep.
Just me.
I agree. No, thank you. That's why I drug this question in here today, because I knew you know a lot about the stage kits, way more than me. Here's what I'll just finish it off with is just the moral to the story is on your question, John. And by the way, he just went to lawabidingbiker.com/contact, email us, leave us a voicemail, whatever you want to do. But the basic answer to your question is it's what you want. I'll just caution people that there is a point where you're getting into just performance and not reliability. And if you're going to, or you're going to degrade where you're going to, wear your motor out at 20, 30,000 miles. If you're going to tour and stuff, I'd be careful how far you go. And I think we mentioned that. If you just want to look cool and sound badass and leaving from the bar, well, then go for it and don't worry about it. Maybe it's a second bike and it's just for show, but there is a point of no return when it comes to reliability and rideability if you're gonna tour long distance. So
there's a reason why drag bikes and race bikes, the motors are rebuilt.
Right, exactly.
After
they're pushing them way harder than they were supposed to be pushed. Yeah, exactly. Want to ride longer? Tired of a sore and achy ass? Nobody likes that. Hopefully, the only reason you have a sore and achy ass is because of riding. Then fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to Law Abiding Biker Store. Check out our lineup of butt buffer seat cushions. Oh, yeah, once you've had Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick-attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. Big Daddy will get you hooked up right here in the studio. There you go. Oh, yeah, we got a great episode coming at you guys. This one's going to be a fun one, so hang on tight. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
Large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. By being here and listening, you are part of what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
There you go. All right, before we get started, guys, we do have just one question for you. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Mount up.
And let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
That's right. Jump on the back of Big Daddy's bike. Clamp your hands ever so gently
to the handrail.
Around his hips. One on his hip. One. All right, just put the other one on his hip, too. Welcome back, guys. Ryan Urlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker podcast and your
high-tech redneck.
There you go, guys. So we've got a great episode for you here. The main topic is going to be motorcycles, music, the impact they have on the biker culture. Big Daddy did an article on this on the website. He is an official blogger now. It's badass. Welcome to the blogging world, Big Daddy.
Thank you.
Published on the Law Abiding Biker website. And we'll get into that, but we're going to have a lot more fun with it because it's always funner, obviously, when we can talk about it and get in just a little bit more deep here. Now, I just want to mention a new free video that we put out. This has been out for a while. Big Daddy will see the title of it, but we stack them up and try to mention them when we can. But this is when Big Daddy had his Indian motorcycle. We put a stage 1 muffler, or we put a Freedom Performance exhaust sound. So he had a stage 1 muffler on it, and then we decided to put Freedom Performance exhaust. We did just a sound comparison. So we did an install video too, which is out on the channel. But if you also just want a, let me see if this is the, I'm going to click on our link, lawabidingbiker.com/ whatever episode this number is. So lawabidingbiker.com/ and then say 100 if it's episode 100 or 200 or whatever it is. Indian. Yeah. So this is the one where we actually installed it. Yeah. So we installed it, and you can also, there's some affiliate links in there and stuff, but you can also hear the sound comparison.
Yeah, and the video that adjoins that is the installation of a Power Commander 4 on an Indian, which
good call.
Took quite a while to do, because when you're filming, if it would normally be an hour or 2 hour install, it's like 4 to 6. So this was a...
Who's that sexy guy?
That's Lurch, I think.
Whatever.
So... yeah, we did a full Power Commander 4 with a Freedom Performance. It was a headers and exhaust kit, and we show you how to put on the exhaust. And then if you're inclined to put a Power Commander 4 on your bike, we have a video that you can purchase, which is, 95% of our stuff is free, but obviously that took a lot of time, a lot of editing, a lot of skills. So we do offer that for sale, but very reasonable. You can do it yourself. You do not need to take it to the dealer. The Power Commander will work with your EFI, and you can get it all tuned up, and they have maps and everything.
Yes, buddy. Well said. Well said. Now, we love our sponsors up front, of course, but these folks are also sponsors of the Law Abiding Biker podcast. They're some of our newest patron members. That's right.
Yeah, we have Gavin Tillison, John Nedorisic of Oxford, Massachusetts, and he's a top tier, and Michael Halleck of Plano, Texas.
Lee Corcoran of Brighton, Colorado, top tier. Arthur Fry of Broomfield, Colorado, top tier. And Robert Sousey of Concord, New Hampshire.
We also have Julie Hazlett of Bedford, Wyoming, who's top tier, J.D. Reyes of Grain Valley, Missouri, and Al Crease of Bethel, Vermont.
That's right. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. That's right. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you because you can put a monthly cap. There are benefits such as these t-shirts and stickers, the private Facebook group. It's a troll-free zone. Awesome forum in there. Access to live video broadcasts and chat. Access to podcasts months before everybody else gets them. And for our top-tier patrons, access up to our premium videos up on request, which we just talked about one of our premium videos, the Power Commander 4 install on an Indian. There you go, guys. All right, so thanks for all those new patron members. We're going to keep ramping it up in 2021 and keep pumping out those awesome benefits as our way to say thanks for all that you do for us. So we're going to bring up Big Daddy's article, and we are just going to dive right in. Now, do you want to do the background on this a little bit? You decided to write an article on this.
Well, I've always had an affection for music. When I was younger, I played the saxophone and the trumpet, and then I played guitar for a while until I had a injury with my hand where I cut the tendons, and so my hand's disfigured. And so, and even now, I've been playing the drums for several years. The last year and a half, I've just been playing my friend's kit. I haven't actually purchased my own kit yet, but I still get
playing
to go.
The skin flute?
No, the drums.
Okay.
So, this has been, it's kind of interesting. I mean, we don't, in our private Facebook group, there's a lot of talk about motorcycles, of course. We refrain from politics just because it's not something that you get into. There's other groups that you can join for that.
Yeah, there's plenty of places you can go for politics.
But we have actually done very well over the last 4 or 5 years of incorporating music discussions into our posts.
In the private Facebook group, right? You do a lot of that. You guys have fun with that.
Yeah, there's several of us that will start. It will be like a month or two and it hasn't done anything. And then somebody will start something up. And so it got me thinking, and, really music is such an important part of the motorcycle rider, biker culture. It's more than just having a radio and listening to music while you're riding. And when I wrote this, these were not necessarily my top 10s, although some of them are. But I really considered and did a lot of research and went through my vinyl collection. I have over 250 vinyl records, looking for stuff that I thought really impacted. And some of it was stuff that, as you're watching motorcycle-related movies or shows, or even a movie that isn't even motorcycle related, but a motorcycle is injected into part of the movie itself, the music that they play for that. And so I came up with a list of top 10 that I personally think are the top 10 and 5 honorable mentions. And I pre-warn you, these are not necessarily in any specific order other than number 1, which will be pretty obvious. But your list may be different. The listener's list may be completely different as to what. And when I brought this discussion up before I wrote this to the private Facebook group, I noticed that a lot of them, and I think people in general, immediately refer back to, well, these are my favorite artists, and this is my top 10. Mm-hmm. And I had to remind them, that's not what this article's about. That's not what this topic or discussion's about. This isn't about your favorite 10 artists or your favorite 10 songs. These are the top 10 songs that have affected the motorcycle culture. And some of them got it and some of them didn't. Right. And they're not going to be able to because they're thinking about, well, I don't like that artist or that song. Right. No, you can't think like that. You have to think, what about the culture in totality? And when I brought that, kind of sink that in there for them, then you started seeing a little bit more opening up of that. I mean, you're always going to get the guys that are like, Stevie Ray Vaughan, man. Right. Skinner, man. You're going to get that. Okay. You're going to get that. But is that song a top 10 song that really reflects upon the biker culture? So I came up with these 10 songs. I wrote the article about it. I actually have some narrative as to why I believe that. And then I had some honorable mentions. And then what hasn't been published, and if we get time to it, we'll do it. If not, it'll be a discussion for another day of what my top 10, which I really couldn't come up with. I came up with the top 10 and then I had to have honorable mentions as well.
Right.
So, because I truly believe, as I write in the first or second paragraph of this, whether it's you getting on a bike and riding to your local bar and there's a band there playing that nobody really knows who they are, but they might be your favorite band because every time you go there on Saturday night, they're there.
Right.
And they're playing covers. And if it's the bar caters to the motorcycle enthusiast, there's going to be certain things. I mean, and this goes within limitations of what they can play. And so I came up with this list and we can go through them and I can kind of give you some highlights of why I chose them for that.
That's right. First up, there you go, buddy.
Explode into space.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Classic.
Heavy metal thunder.
All right. Tell us that I agree. Definitely with number one, man. Like that goes hand in hand.
Yeah, as I said, I mean, this list, the number that it's listed is not in any particular order except for this, and it's Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf. For me, this was an easy one, and if it wasn't included on the list, I believe the validity of the entire list in general will be compromised. I mean, get your motor running. I mean, it's the first thing that comes to mind with this song. I personally saw Steppenwolf at a rally in 1996.
Nice, bro.
And
I've had him in my list forever, but I've never a concert.
The men and the women just went nuts. And it's a common anthem. While Steppenwolf as a band is not one of my favorites, the impact of the song on the motorcycle culture,
it speaks of what the motorcycle,
and it stands the test of time.
Yeah,
I mean, you can go to any bar. You can go to a biker bar in Wichita, Kansas tonight, and if they're playing live, which with COVID, we don't know that, but if they were, let's say COVID's not here, right? I'm telling you right now, if it's a biker bar, they better play Born to Be Wild. And they'll probably even throw in Magic Carpet Ride too.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So it was, obviously, it is really the number one, but, I think even though it's not one of my favorite songs, the list would have been severely criticized if I didn't have it.
Right. No, I agree. And, I'll just tell you guys up front, Big Daddy's on this episode because I listen to music, but I'm telling you that I don't have the background like Big Daddy and a lot of you and the others in the private Facebook group, the patron members. You guys are music like geniuses when it comes to like music trivia and knowing the backgrounds. I like music, but I have never got into it like that. Like you can ask me the song and I forget like who the artist is. Sometimes I'm not really up to it. It's like my brother's like that. And music trivia doesn't work for me. I suck at it, but my brother it's unbelievable. Some people like you guys just stick and the bands and the names and who left and what band member came, and it's crazy. So Big Daddy, that's why he's on here. Number two definitely makes the cut for sure, bro.
Yeah, and we say I have it listed as number two, but let's just really it's just the next song, and this one is "Sympathy for the Devil" by the Rolling Stones.
Let me play it, dude. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know why. But anyways, some of these we won't,
Yeah, so Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. Obviously, this is a classic. Everybody knows the Rolling Stones are a classic American blues-inspired band. The band is amazing. It spanned from the 60s, from the early mods where they obviously favored the rockabilly, the early rock and roll, motorcycle, leather jackets to today. The Stones have inspired many international bands in general. It tells a tale of the history from a Russian czar to an American president and talks about have sympathy for me because of all these things that have happened in relation to what the devil has done. Also, this has been in several biker related type movies, TV shows, etc. I mean, it's just a classic song for there. I mean, you just go through there, but this song to me goes from, the 60s with the mods all the way down. It's a classic song. It's actually been redone and it's on the Sons of Anarchy soundtrack. Obviously those are professionals that are bringing in specific songs related to that they feel that will add to the plot or the storyline.
Right.
And this is just a perfect song for that. And the one that's on the Sons of Anarchy soundtrack is done by this guy named Frankie Perez, I think.
Yeah, right.
He is absolutely phenomenal. He just killed. No, excuse me. This was done by Perry Farrell of Jane's Addiction fame. He redid that. Perry Farrell did. And he just does a fantastic job with it as well.
All right. As you're doing that, I'm trying to find some of this. Let's see if it'll... All right. So that was a good... I had to go find that on YouTube. Long story. My Apple Music, my daughter got me locked out of my Apple Music for right now, so I'm locked out, so I'm having to find it elsewhere. But yeah, I agree. Everything you said on Sympathy for the Devil. Classic song. And I actually had that in my library too. I've got so far both of these. I'm looking just which ones I have in my actual music library over the years. So, all right, let's move on.
All right. The next one to me is a total classic hit by one of the best guitarists of all time.
Oh, really?
Still considered by modern guitarists as one of the best, the most innovative there were. You know, you got a Southern rock icon.
Yeah.
Greg Allman, was often considered one of the top guitarists of all time, passed away way too soon.
What happened there? See, I don't know any of this trivia. Was it a drug overdose?
No.
Oh, it wasn't. I just think of music people, and it's like, I know that's total.
And to me, what this does is it just soothes the emotions of getting out on the open road.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's to pass the time or you're just waiting for the adventure ahead. For me, even though Ramblin' Man wasn't necessarily about bikers, it brings to mind to me of getting on the bike with minimal plans or expectations and just letting the day itself, the ride itself, be in charge. And, like many bikers, we don't like to stay in one place too long. So, just ramble on. And it's one of those songs that you will hear. I've heard it on Moco authorized playlist, back when the Moco was putting out CDs, when they actually had CD players in their bikes.
Right.
You could buy the CD and as, Harley Davidson
I forgot
road
about
songs
all that, bro.
and all that stuff. So it's one of those ones, even though it's not one of my personal top 10, it's a great song. And there's other songs from the Allman Brothers Band or even, that could have maybe I like a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, this just soothes getting on the bike and going, and you don't know where you're going to end up. And then the next morning you get up and you just look at the map and see where else you're going. You know why? Because I was born to be wild. Yes. Yeah, buddy, it all comes back around. It does. Dude, that's why we got you here, because you get to put a lot of, behind this. So this is awesome. I love hearing this stuff. What about this song right here? You ever heard this one? Hey, bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? 03D has the products you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. 03D's got your back with chrome and black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing and more time riding. Yeah, baby. 03D has a design team of riders. You hear that? Riders with over 40 years experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero and Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators with CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. You got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@03d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check at your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out Zero's 3D custom line of Gold Strike products for all the new Honda Goldwings. Better yet, support us and head on over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products. Big Daddy sitting right here in the studio, guaranteed he's ready to box those up, put some peanuts in it for you. I said our peanuts. Our store is completely packed right now. It is packed, especially with the new Kuryakin windshields. We're pretty tight in there, but it's well organized and we're getting it done. I know it is organized for sure. And who knows, guys? Maybe our future here. Well, I know our future, hopefully, with your support, is going to be will be our third facility, or I'm getting another room. And that's how we do. We just keep
keep us snowballing. And we couldn't do that without your guys' support. Here we go.
Could you have a list without playing some more Skinnerd, man?
Dude, this is a classic, dude.
This is a 15-minute in original content.
Is it?
Homage to just being free, doing what you have to do. Some people would say maybe Sweet Home Alabama should be in here instead because it's a little bit more, but I'm telling you, if you've ever been to a Skinnerd concert like I have, the entire crowd is waiting for this one song. And I put in here, try going to any motorcycle rally without hearing this song, especially late at night after a few drinks and your lady wants to lean up and put her arm around you. I was a fan beforehand, that whole Southern rock genre. But when I saw him in Sturgis in '99, I really got an appreciation for him. They came back just as good as ever with the brother singing. To me, this song just inspires you to be free, ride, enjoy the moment. And I think bikers of any age group, this song kind of reaches out. I mean, modern bikers, maybe not so much. I mean, I talk about in my first paragraphs about how we're in Sturgis and there's an outlaw motorcycle clubhouse there, and one member comes by and he's obviously older and he's listening to Southern rock, and then the next one comes in and he's listening to hip hop on his lowered touring bike, and it's
next one comes in at Slipknot.
And
tweaking out.
There's always going to be a wide variety of things, but this song Freebird, to me, it's just,
dude,
it's there.
A couple whiskeys, kicking back, a big fat blunt, dude, and some Freebird. All right, we're not promoting unless it's legal in your state, but
yeah, it's not legal for us.
It's not
regardless.
It doesn't matter what state we're in. We're Leos. That shit's not legal, but it makes for a funny deal there. So definitely a couple whiskeys for me, for sure. That's still legal as far as I know. They haven't taken that away from us, the ability to drink alcohol.
The taxes are too good on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Our Inslee doesn't want to take that away.
Oh, God, dude. All right, yeah, no, that's a classic. That's obviously in my playlist, regardless of if it made the top songs for, again, not our top songs, but the top songs for within the biker culture and all that kind of stuff that had some power and things like that. So yeah, very good, dude.
This next one is one that some people may not know, especially if they're younger.
I'm gonna have to find it.
It is actually another huge long song. In fact, the guitarist and singer from this band is now with Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Oh, no shit. See, this is the stuff I don't know, years.
Dude. To me, it's a Highway Song by Blackfoot. Okay. And this song to me conjures up thoughts of being on the road, probably alone, letting the highway lead you to the destination, even though you may not know where you're going. The song is long, yes, but imagine you and 100 riders singing along at the same time while you have your arm around your gal. To me, it's an ode to the highway and how the adventure begins. And it's literally 10 or so minutes of slow music, and then it just punches you right in the fucking ball sack at the very end.
Oh, it does?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to be quite honest. I was not familiar with this song at all. I don't know that I ever heard it before you put on your list. I know that. I'll just be freely admit it, so I got to hear what it... Oh, that's the end.
That guitar is the current guitarist for Lynyrd Skynyrd. He's a Native American.
I'm sorry to admit that. I don't know why.
He literally has Indian and the Indian logo on his arm.
No shit.
Oh yeah, he's phenomenal. But yeah, Highway Song was the next one, and like I said, man, it's just, to me, it just reaps of being out on the open road.
So I'm typing this in. So I will, yeah, like I say, now I won't say that I've never heard it before. I mean, it seemed familiar, but all these other songs on here, I mean, they're all, I don't know why. Just how that is, how you grew up or what you listen to. For whatever reason, that song never really made it into my music list. So yeah, very cool song. Glad we played the end there. Picks it up a little bit. All right, so now this one, of course, dude. This band, yeah, I listened to all the shit. I can remember my first, believe it or not, my first What was it? Let me see. I'm going to look something up here while we're talking. We can't say the name of the band yet. We're going to keep them in suspense. Actually, let me look here. Bear with me, people. Okay, now it came to me. So I still remember. So the band, we're not going to name the song yet, but was Metallica. And I can still remember my first Metallica song I ever heard. It was on a tape, a cassette. It's funny how you just remember things from high school.
Yeah.
I had never heard Metallica before, but I remember I was in 9th grade, and one of the high schoolers I was friends with came down to the junior high, and I was in 9th grade, and I got in his car, and he put that in the tape deck, and it was Justice for All by Metallica, and I was like, that's the shit. That's the shit. And from then on, dude, yeah, straight up. But this song right here from Metallica is the one that made the list. This list, right? Yeah, buddy. That's a classic. Classic to make the list. What you got on this one?
So for me, to me, this is a classic Metallica ode to touring the road as a band. But I think it's easily applicable to motorcycle riders. For those in our 40s, we remember Metallica very well. The lyrics speak to them. For me, just like Highway Song, for those in their 50s and 60s, this song is easily their equivalent to them. As far as an anthem goes.
Right.
And I've always said, when Kirk Hammett's guitars hit you in the gut, you just feel like you got to play air guitars. The cruise control takes over the throttle. It's one of those songs. They're talking about their biggest tour that they were ever on at that time. And, there's lots of albums, there's Kill 'Em All, Master of Puppets, Injustice for All, the Black Album, even some of their newer stuff, Magnetic and stuff. Those are great ones. But to me, this song just kind of reaches there. And this was that 30 to 40-year-old equivalent to Highway Song or Freebird that I thought was a good mix to this.
Yeah. Nice, bro. Okay. We're moving on here. I think we're down to number 7 is what we're moving up on here. So let's do this real quick. Ride longer. Treat your ass with some respect already, Big Daddy.
Respect that ass.
Get hooked up. We can do so much fun stuff with this one. Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital-grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials, and it's unlike gel pads that will leak if punctured.
Milkshake.
I can't even stay serious. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around on your seat. Fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, and easily cleans, and helps to dampen vibrations. With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. All right, and
people, we sell a lot of these. They are nice and thin. They're nothing like those gel ones or the air ones. These are really good, and they have 2 styles. They have the classic style, and then of course they have the new Pebble polymer, which has a little more breathable stuff, but obviously it's a little bit more expensive. But we've been selling a lot of these,
dude. And I will tell you, nothing's better. Nobody likes anything better than a good product for your ass. Now, I will tell you a funny story, because we always do that here. When this company, Butt Buffer, first hooked up with us, we, obviously decided after testing to carry their stuff. And then it becomes my part because I do the creative stuff. Well, Lurch worked with the company, right? And they wanted to sponsor the podcast. And so they didn't know us hugely. They reached out to us, but they didn't really know our style. And so I had Lurch work with them. And again, this isn't on Lurch or them, but they send me this thing, and it's a very commercial, right? So what are your high points? Because I make the commercial, the ad spots for the podcast. I put my creative style in them and the music and whatever I want to do with it. But they did a very kind of stale, which would still be good, but it was just, and I'm like, oh, you cannot have a butt buffer name as your product and you expect me to do a sterile, commercial and it does this. So I sent it back and I said, hey, would he mind if I said our audience wouldn't care if we add a little spice into the butt buffer and make it fun. I sent it to him and he was like, oh, that's badass. I like that a lot. And it was just a lot more flavorful. So I had a lot of fun making that. And then like you see, Big Daddy can be here and throw in the milkshake and we can throw in all kinds of stuff on the butt buffer. But seriously, it's a great product, all jokes aside. Selling the heck out of them. So moving on to our article. All right. Girls. Oh, yeah. What guy doesn't like the title of that song, bro?
Dude, I'm telling you, this is absolutely my favorite. This song inspired me to ride a motorcycle.
No shit.
Yeah.
No
just
shit.
Hearing that Harley Davidson, and I've actually seen the Harley Davidson in person that was in this video.
Oh, yeah?
Nikki Sixx had bought this bike from a 1% club member. And then, of course, he rode it. It's in the video. And later on, that bike was on presentation behind a glass box at the Hard Rock Hotel in Las Vegas.
No shit.
Yeah, so I got to see the bike up close.
That's cool, dude.
This song, yes, we know it's all about gentlemen's clubs. We know that. But
maybe that's
the
why
mere
we like it.
fact that they included the motorcycle sounds in the beginning and at the end, I mean, the four bad boys of rock and roll cruising the Sunset Strip, riding their Harley Davidson is branded in my memory. I saw that and I was like, I'm either going to be a fucking rock star.
Yeah, buddy.
Or if I can't be, I'm going to ride a Harley. And I'm, to this day, still one of my goals is to take my Harley and ride it down the Sunset Strip, past the Troubadour, past the Rainbow, past the Viper Room, past all these places.
Yeah.
I would love to recreate that. And, for me, the add-ins of the Harley and the song itself is the clue. They just did it because they thought it was cool,
right.
Riding motorcycles between strip clubs, etc. But I mean, when this song comes on, for me, I twist the throttle. I can feel the acceleration, and even if I don't want to, it's going to take me. And what's better than motorcycles, beautiful women, cool rockers, man?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, this is just
like the epitome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, good story. Good backstory too, dude. Got you into motorcycles and oh yeah, dude. Definitely in my music repertoire. Yes. All right. So moving on. This is number 8.
This is another one that is one of my favorites. And you go to any biker event or something, they're going to be talking about Copperhead Road by Steve Earle. And to me, his ode to this fictitious father being a moonshine runner and then his going to Vietnam and coming back and being a runner of a different type, and if you watch the video, you get it. Basically, he's growing marijuana and stuff. And, for me, I've met Steve Earle several times. I've met him in person several times, Spokane, Yakima. He is just a nice man. He's insanely creative. After his prison stand for heroin possession, he changed his sound to more of a folk one. But obviously the passion for the music never faded. I mean, he plays mandolin, guitar, piano, and I never, in the 3 times that I've met Steve Earle, in a very quick fashion.
Yeah, no shit.
And I've got several of his vinyl records signed by him that I have at the house.
Dude, you are a music guy. I
never asked him if he rode, but I wouldn't care even if he doesn't ride. It wouldn't matter to me. I think that this is a motorcycle of all generations song. This song comes on, and this may be the only song that somebody knows about Steve Earle.
Yeah.
And I think he has better material that are better than this.
Okay.
And this is great. But
it fit into the motorcycle scene.
Maybe this will reach out to people to kind of listen to some. I mean, he's won many Grammys with some of his country folk type stuff. And but this song, Copperhead Road, I think is one I don't think anybody could argue with.
Yeah, buddy. So tell me this. Interesting, because you music guys that are really into like the music, a lot of you guys, like you said, you've got it on vinyl. And I get that. I just don't have time. I've got enough other hobbies with all my tech and stuff. But do you still, because I grew up with records, like that's me and my dad used to, sit on a Friday night and play Devil Went Down to Georgia and, and stuff like that. And we had the record player, so I definitely grew up in that era long before tapes and all that kind of stuff. Do you collect the vinyl just to have it? Because I know I get it. It's like nostalgic. So I get the draw. If I was into it, I would get it too. Just the smell, the sound, the putting the record on. Do you still do that, or do you just collect the vinyl to have it, or you don't want to destroy it, or what?
No, I play them. I've
never seen your record player.
I have a Cambridge amplifier system and speakers and a really good high quality vinyl player. See, vinyl's been around forever. And then you had 8-track, and then 8-track faded.
I went through this, yeah.
And then you have cassettes, and cassettes were hugely popular, and vinyl started to fade a little bit. And when CDs came in, everybody just kind of forgot about
And now
vinyl.
Streaming, I forget about CDs. Now I stream everything.
For me, playing a vinyl record is an event. It's a process. You have to pick it. You have to go over and turn on your equipment.
Just the feel of it.
You take it. You clean the record with the vinyl cleaner solution.
Coming back to me.
You put it down. You listen to one side, and you have to get your ass up off the recliner to go turn it on to the other side.
Time for a whiskey, anyways.
It's a process.
Yeah. And they have a unique sound.
They do. They have a different sound. I have records that are original. Like I have the original debut album from Little Richard.
Oh, man.
That was passed down to me from my father.
Cool, dude.
And when Little Richard died last year, I put it on there and played it. And even though it says high fidelity, obviously the recording processes back then were not. But I also have some original, Surf and Safari Beach Boys, and I have a lot of original stuff. I can't listen to everything. I have to focus on what's my mood. So it's usually like a Sunday morning before I go do orders, I'll pick something out.
Yeah.
And
you straight up put the record on.
Put the record on and play it and then flip it over to the other side. Sometimes I'll listen to two. In today's times of just streaming music with streaming companies or buying from Apple iTunes and
Amazon Music,
and you have
Spotify,
and I do some of that too.
Yeah,
but I'm so nerdy that if I find an album that I like, and I buy the vinyl album if it's a newer, because vinyl is back.
Yeah,
vinyl is back. It's huge. I mean, the records that we used to get for $3.99 at Kmart are now $29.99, brand new, 180 gram vinyl. This. And even some of the reproduction stuff that they're re-releasing out. But like I said, like Steve Earle, or you go to any concert, there's a lot more of these artists now that next to their shirts are now offering vinyl records.
Oh, yeah?
For you to buy, yeah.
How cool.
So for me, it's a process. It's not something, it's almost like slowing you down.
I agree.
Anybody can just hit their Apple iTunes icon and play something that they've bought and it's playing. And then if you got it on random and you got your playlist,
yeah.
And I do that. There's a time for that. But come Sunday morning, or when Russ is over at the house, when he's staying 2 or 3 days.
Russell Roberts, patron member, yeah.
The first thing we do is we go in.
No shit, I didn't know this.
Yeah, the first thing we do is go and buy like 3 6-packs.
Yeah.
Because they got to last 2 days.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
And we buy some meat usually, or else we'll go out to dinner a couple nights. But as soon as we get settled, we will pick. And Russell is very musician oriented. He plays guitar. He loves music.
As long as I've known Russell, I've done interviews with him. We've never talked about his music. Yeah.
No, because his music is a passion for him. But his tech and photograph and video passion and drone passion
overrides it.
Overrides it.
Kind of like
with
me.
you.
Yeah, right.
But when he's with me, he knows that I'm not the tech guy. Mm-hmm. So we do, and we'll pick out music. And he'll be like, "You pick me out something," and I'll go and find something that he'll be like, "I haven't heard that in years."
And
then other times, like last time he was down, which has been about a year and a half or so, because he was doing a lot of West Coast runs then, and he's from Tennessee. We pulled out, I have all of the original Eagles albums.
Yeah.
And so everything from the very first album on down, and he's like, pick out your best album. And I said, by far, this is the best Eagles album of all time. And I knew he thought I was going to pull out Hotel California, and I threw him for a spin when I pulled out The Long Run. Because
Yeah.
I do think The Long Run is the best album that they ever made. It's their last album, of course, until they reformed. But the songs on there, The Long Run, and I mean, just so many good ones. And he was like, man, this was a good album. Because vinyls can sometimes take you back to stuff that you haven't heard in a while, and then you've been focused on Hotel California.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you listen to that, or, you know, Jimmy Buffett. Everybody thinks of Jimmy Buffett as, you know, this Caribbean, you know, actually he's really less Caribbean than he more is of the Biloxi kind of Alabama. He's from there, and the whole Alabama and that ocean scene there. And then he kind of reached out into that. But I have an album of his when he was with Cumberland Jamboree, and it's like a straight up bluegrass album.
Yeah.
And I threw that on there, and he's like, "Oh, who's this?" Because he likes bluegrass. I'm like, "That's Jimmy Buffett, bro." And he's like, "What the hell?"
That's crazy, man.
And so you experience these things. So to me, playing these records brings back. Or like if a new artist, like my favorite country artist, Mark Chestnut, he just came out with a live album, so I picked it up. So I'll buy some new stuff too. I'll search for some old stuff. One of my most recent acquisitions was the Miami Vice soundtrack on vinyl. And it's not because, I mean, yeah, it had cool songs, Smuggler's Blues and all that. You know, you belong to the city. Glenn Fry, very active in that. But it was just because it took me back. I saw the label and I listened to it, and I thought of those Friday nights watching, the TV show. Mm-hmm, and so I'll pick up soundtracks like that sometimes just to kind of take you back a little bit in memory.
I love it, dude. Thanks for diving in on that. Because I wanted to ask that question. Now I'm just going to give you guys a visual, just because everybody needs a visual. So it's Sunday morning, Big Daddy's house.
Sunday morning coming down, Johnny Cash.
Big Daddy puts on his little vinyl, whatever he's feeling.
Wearing my cleanest dirty shirt.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's wearing something better. He's wearing his robe, but his robe is open. He's wearing nothing but tighty whities. He kicks back on the sofa. He's got one hand behind his head. His nipples are at full mast. One of his hand is playing with his right nipple. Sitting on his belly button is a cold glass of whiskey. And he just kicks back. Oh, I see Russell Roberts too, comes over and takes the whiskey off his belly and takes a drink, sets it back on his belly. Dude,
why did you have to have me playing with my nipple?
Because it's not cool if you're not playing with your nipples, dude. All right, this is ridiculous. Next song. Let's move. Oh wait, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted this one. That's the. Oh yeah. This is the. That was a remaster.
Around
this is a classic,
that
dude.
Texas town.
There we go.
LaGrange by ZZ Top.
Yeah, but it's awesome.
Texas trio that goes back clear, way back, even before they did the Eliminator album, where they became the highest grossing bands for concert tours back in the mid 80s and stuff, and with songs like Legs. And ZZ Top has been around, always been a country influence.
So cool.
For me, ZZ Top is obviously known for their classic car passion. But I think that passion definitely carries over to motorcycling as well. Maybe not for them in particular, but I think that passion for classic cars and the guys that like bikes. There's guys that have bikes and all they want to do is just ride it back and forth to work. And then they go on a few rides with the Hog chapter and then they decide biking's not for them, right? Well, for me, it's obvious it's a lifestyle. It's more than that. And that song to me just literally just fires you up. I mean, many artists have covered this. One of my favorites is Jamie Johnson. He's covered the song. Even though it's not necessarily about cars. I mean, obviously it's about a whorehouse, but bikers just love the way it comes in and hits.
You play that in a biker rally and people party on, dude.
Yeah, it's an obvious to me.
Yeah. Oh, coming up, that was number 9. Coming up on number 10, bro. What could it possibly be?
Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and slap your paint. Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attached strapless luggage rack systems. This father and son team designed something really special that you can't find anywhere else. Yep, and they ride. So they truly understand the needs of bikers. And a lot of the stuff they build is for their own purposes. Rick Rack Quick Attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany their quick detach system. Once you go Rick Rack, you'll never go back.
Rack.
So what are you waiting for, Bikeaholics? Head over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out the full line of Rick Rack systems and bags at lawabidingbiker.com/store. Rick Rack.
It's been a while, bro. Oh, yeah.
That was
not it, but it's a cool song. This what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, baby.
So, rounding out the top 10 to me is My Generation by The Who. And this is obviously going to be a controversial pick, but let's face it, they're the kings of British mod culture, and they had to be on the list. I would have loved to have been in Britain during this time. Dressed to the hilt. Picking up your lady.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Going to the bars, listening to American blues rock and roll that influenced the Who, Rolling Stones, the Animals. Just a great time. The Beatles, inspired by rhythm and blues and blues music from America. You know, to me, it's like you're getting dressed up, you're riding to get out on your date for the night. Who for sure is wearing a mini dress and high boots with enough hairspray to keep her hair from ever getting messed up in the wind.
Yeah.
And to me, this song reeks up that. It just reeks up that. And so it had to be on this list as far as I was concerned. It's a controversial pick, but remember what that song did for the culture of motorcycling or riding two wheels. And it definitely fits for that.
I agree, bro. I agree. All right. I'm glad that made the list, actually. So here, moving on. We're doing good, but yep, we're going to have time. We're going to do, and we're not going to play each one of these because I couldn't go through, but these are our explain the honorable mentions because you added this to the article. Yeah,
the honorable mentions to me were songs that I saw actually influenced, bikers in general. So like when these songs come on and you're riding, it takes you back to a time. You may not have been riding motorcycles at the time, but it's a song that you want to hear when you're on the bike. Couple of these songs actually in their videos when they were done, they involved motorcycles, whether it be motocross or stunt riders or stuff like that. But for me, these are songs that when they come on, you just can't help but to enjoy them.
Yep. Good lead up. And so he put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. So 6, let's just go down the list. Starting number 1 is the honorable mention. Drum roll, Sister Christian by Night Ranger. Yeah.
Definitely a biker favorite. I mean, the tune goes from a slower pace to a slight and then a sudden increase as the drums kick. To me, it just makes me want to let go of the handlebars for a moment, play those air drums. The song was actually an ode to the drummer's sister who was graduating high school. But it became not only a big, huge classic, but a lot of bikers like this song. And this to me is not necessarily, this was put in there specifically because bikers will listen to this and remember it and like it when they're riding. It wasn't necessarily into the influence in the biker culture, but it now has because it's become such a popular song.
Well said. Well said. This is a great one too, of course. We all know this one. Oh yeah. And I've never been able to pronounce it right. Bawatadaba. I know the song, obviously. I don't even know how to pronounce it right, dude.
My name is Kid.
Yeah, baby. Can't go wrong with Kid Rock, bro.
Yeah, Ba Widda Daba by Kid Rock.
Say it again.
Ba Widda Daba.
Ba Widda. See, I've never been able to say it. Ba Widda Daba. Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
So Kid Rock comes out. He's already had an album or two. Anybody who knows his history, this dude worked his ass off. He's very pro motorcycles. He's very pro America, hunting, everything.
Heavily influenced by Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. For me, people in their 40s know this tune well. combination of R&B, rock, metal, and rap, all while motocross riders are jumping across the stage, over the stage, filled with cool riders and hot chicks.
Yeah.
You know, as I'm listening, I'm thinking, man, if I could just be Kid Rock for one night, man, this would be like the baddest ass ever. And he's really come around with this country and his country rock type stuff. But to me, man, when this song comes on, I can't help but bob my head up and down.
Yeah, buddy.
And the video was just phenomenal. It made him, it was just a great song. One of those songs that I want to listen to. And obviously he's really into bikes too. So
yeah, he is. And he's got a lot of different musical influences. Like I say, Hank Williams Jr., he's done some stuff with Hank before. And then yet he does these rock songs. And he's just got truly one of those guys that really didn't follow anybody, just came out with his own kind of style, right?
Yep. And
to me,
he plays piano, guitar.
Yeah. He's super talented.
He's super talented. He wasn't, just a rock rap guy, man. And
he can do rap, he can do rock, he can do country. He really can do a lot of different stuff.
He can do it all.
Yeah, very cool. Of course. Oh yeah, classic there, bro. Running with the Devil by Van Halen. Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, who doesn't have this song in their playlist?
If you don't,
I mean,
loser.
This tune will inadvertently make you twist the throttle, and it will probably increase your chance of a ticket in 10 seconds flat.
Yeah, right.
And it doesn't matter whether you're younger in your 20s now or you're in your 60s. You remember this song. You remember Eddie Van Halen playing. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. Recently died. But to me,
that's right.
This song is just one of those that when you're riding your bike, you want to have.
Dude, this one, it doesn't even come up, which is interesting. But this is The Life by Curtis Stinger.
Yep. This is the theme songs for Son of Anarchy.
That's right.
It's notorious. When you hear it, you know exactly. This put a stamp on motorcycle culture, not just the show, but this song, when you heard this, and, for me, all four soundtracks are good. I have them all. I mentioned earlier, I love Perry Farrell's version of Sympathy of the Devil on this one. At the time, the show was huge. Now some people may look back now and mock it a bit, but in reality, it had really good writing, had stars that played their parts well, like major stars. And no doubt, this TV show and this song inspired younger riders to get out and ride. I mean, they basically invented the T-bar Dyna whole thing. I mean, Dyna with a fairing was basically built from this show.
Yeah, it's true.
It influenced makers and companies to go. At that time, you open up a custom bike magazine, and they were all road glides, bat wings, Dynas, T-bar. I mean, who would have ever thought that a company would come out with a 14 or 16 inch T-bar for a road glide and it would be successful?
Yeah.
But they are all over the place. So this song is one of those ones that influenced motorcycle culture.
It's true. And it's very true.
The thing is,
I've got a bike out there, the Lowrider S with T-bars on it.
People may go back and mock the show a little bit now. And granted, in the last 2 or 3 seasons, it started to get a little ridiculous.
It was just for fun.
But you know what? Those first 4 seasons, I mean, were amazing plots, amazing shows. And he did a good job. The writers, the producers, the directors, they did a good job of incorporating. He knew that incorporating music into that show in specific scenes would fit, and it would fit for that purpose. And then to come out with the soundtracks and a lot of
I have a lot of those because of that show. I download a lot of music. I was like, who is that?
Yeah, a lot of them, like Frankie Perez.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Frankie Perez is, but you listen to some of his songs, Los Campeanos.
Yeah.
He does a Spanish tune on there that's absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favorites to listen to when I'm riding. This song, I mean, as soon as you hear it, you know what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. And it definitely had a lot of influence. And I know a lot of people downloaded music, and I did because of a lot of that. Lone Wolf was another one.
Yes.
Right? I downloaded some of that music too. So yeah, I just want to make sure I'm right on that. Let's see. Let me look at, why don't you move on to, Hicktown by Jason. Yeah.
This is mine. If you're a country fan or a pop country fan, because he's moved a little bit more pop country, but when this song came out, its first release, it was a classic country rock song, but it had just enough in there that people old and young loved it. You know, there's a lot of country music loving writers out there. And to me, when this song hits you, it just hits you in the gut. It's got those rock inspired country undertones. When this song comes on, I can't help but think of being on a bike ride down Saturday night to see Bonfire, go see my friends, and then hopefully meet a lovely lady who wants to ride back with me.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. All right. I like that. And then moving on to this, which is the last one in your honorable mentions, which is Train by Black Oak, Arkansas. You have a few things to say about this one.
Oh, yeah. This is an amazing song. It's a huge, at rallies, they play it. Southern rock classics, common on many Southern rock and motorcycle inspired compilations. Bikers love the song. It's got a great rhythm to it. You know, yes, I easily could have put a 38 Special song, or even If You Want to Go to Heaven by Ozark Mountain Daredevils. Could have easily been in here in its place. But this was the song that I chose. You know, there are so many, but obviously I had to end the list at some time. But this song is a biker staple and classic, and everybody knows it when it hits.
Nice, bro. Nice, bro. So finishing up, why don't you have a, as we finish it out here, you have a list, and I think we have time. Obviously, we're not going to play them all, but you have a list of not necessarily, and I'm sorry, earlier I said Lone Wolf. I meant Yellow Wolf.
Yes.
Y-E-L-A. I said Lone Wolf. I meant Yellow Wolf. He played some, that's where I got introduced to him from a few songs on Sons of Anarchy show. So, yeah, so let's just, I'm not going to spit my list because I don't really have one. I do have playlists, but in the interest of time, and I think we're doing perfect. Here's Big Daddy's, drum roll, Big Daddy's top 10 that he likes. These aren't necessarily, give the background. You do it. Well, why you pick these? Are they just listeners or what?
These are listening songs. So this isn't an influence on the biker culture or anything. These are my songs that I like to listen to when they come on and really enjoy them.
All right. Do it to it.
So my first one, in not in any particular order, but is Bad Boys Running Wild by the Scorpions. Off the Love at First Sting album.
Done, bro.
Just a fantastic song. I'm a huge Scorpion. I listen to 90% country, but there's
Do you really? I didn't know that about you.
But I will tell you that there's that whole mid to late 80s genre of hair metal and heavy metal.
Yeah, dude.
AC/DC coming in there. There was a lot of us country boys listening to that stuff. It didn't matter where you were from. So just some of it just hits really well. So for me, Bad Boys Running Wild by Scorpions. Another one is Country Boy by Aaron Lewis. It has became a very huge. Aaron Lewis was obviously the lead singer of Stained, which is a very big heavy metal slash band. The dude is a phenomenal genius as far as writing and guitar player and everything. In that song, he actually gets Charlie Daniels to come in and do a statement, part of the song. He plays the violin on it or the fiddle, and then he also has George Jones in that video. He's from Massachusetts, lives out in the country, very pro-American. But Country Boy by Aaron Lewis is just a fantastic song. Another one, this has been redone several times. I chose the artist that is my favorite country artist, and I think he does a very good redo of this, and that's Black Rose by Mark Chestnut. It's obviously, he has redone it and it's done very well with it. Next one.
Dude, how about this? Dude. Disturbed, The Sounds of Silence. Have you ever heard this?
Yeah, I've heard it.
Yeah, it's a badass song, dude. Guy's got some pipes.
Yeah, he does.
He straight up knows how to sing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got off on a sidetrack.
No, that's fine, man. This is you put your songs as well. So the next one is my homage to the Sunset Strip and Sex Action by LA Gun.
Oh, nice, bro.
Dude, if you played this, man, you would know it as soon as you heard it. But it's it's one of my favorites. Just gets me going real well.
I can see why.
Next one, this takes me back to my childhood, and it's "Help Me Rhonda" by the Beach Boys.
Oh yeah, dude.
I love that California sound. My dad was a big Beach Boys fan.
Yeah.
And when that song comes on, it just takes me back in memories.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
Good call, bro.
Yeah.
Good call.
Next one is "Hooked on an 8-Second Ride" by Chris
Oh,
LeDoux.
Yeah, dude. I listened to Chris LeDoux on the way to Sturgis. 3 albums.
Yeah.
Love Chris LeDoux,
"Hooked on an
dude.
8-Second Ride."
Yeah.
Fantastic song.
There's a bunch of his songs that I listen to that are just, yeah.
Two of my personal favorites. These are just because I like them. A lot of bikers probably aren't going to, but I'm a huge Billy Joel fan.
Yep.
And Downeaster, Alexa, and Zanzibar by Billy Joel. Zanzibar, talking about how he has a tab at Zanzibar and he's in the corner booth and he's having drinks and watching everybody, and the inclusion of the horns is just a good song. Downeaster, Alexa is a plight to the fishermen of the Oregon coast and Massachusetts and Vermont and Connecticut, all those fishermen up there, about how it used to be really good fishing, but now since the government's put limitations in it, they control what we can fish. And I have this boat, but I got to get shoes for my kid. So I'm heading out again after I've spent all my money on diesel fuel in the Downeaster Alexa. And it talks about a story. Like I said, this isn't probably going to be on anybody else's top 10 unless you're a Billy Joel fan.
Right.
But for me, when these songs come on when I'm riding, I imagine being out in the Atlantic Ocean searching for the big catch.
Yeah.
So I can fill my fuel for the next trip. And Zanzibar is just a fun song that is there for it. So.
Deep, bro. Love it, dude.
So that's two.
Here's
of my
another Chris LeDoux one, dude, that you got to listen to when you're riding. You know which one this is?
Yeah.
Little long-haired outlaw, bro.
Oh yeah, he has a lot of them. And
well, I can do a concert.
I absolutely love Chris LeDoux, man.
Yeah, Chris LeDoux.
Too bad he died so young too.
Yeah.
One of my buddies went to his concert like 4 months. He did a concert and I forget where it was. A couple of my buddies. I never got to see him. I did. I saw him once in concert. He right here in Yakima. I got to see him, but he was not the main attraction, but he still came up and sang 4 or 5 songs. God, I'm trying to think of the band. I can picture him. That was the main band, but go ahead. Yeah, I digress.
Air Force Brat, came a rodeo
Sawyer
cowboy.
Brown was the main artist, and then he was secondary for Sawyer Brown. Yeah.
Air Force Brat becomes a rodeo cowboy.
Yeah.
His music was underground music in the rodeo scene.
Totally. Didn't want to move to Tennessee. Wanted to stay up in the good old Rocky Mountains.
From Casey, Wyoming.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Straight up.
I go to a lot of rodeos and I've watched every night. I'm going to miss tonight, the final night, which is going to suck because we're going to run a little bit long.
We'll be done soon. Maybe
we
you can
watched
make
the
it.
NRA finals. Ever been to the NRA finals? I love rodeo. I think that's why 90% of my listening
I love rodeo too.
Towards that. But, I just love the music itself. Like when I bring Billy Joel into it and people are like, Billy Joel?
Yeah.
Now listen, I'm not talking about Uptown Girl era. Okay.
Right.
I don't really care about that, but his stuff, everything from The Stranger and 52nd Street and all that, just phenomenal for me. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Chris LeDoux, Garth Brooks really brought him back, on his Garth Brooks' first album, he's talking about, having a Chris LeDoux tape and trying to make the next rodeo. I mean, he did a good job of really forcing that into it. So for me, anything by Chris LeDoux is good. I mean, it's just fantastic. And then, because we got to end it soon.
Yeah, we do. Wind her down. We're good.
I'm going to say I have several here. I mean, obviously, Sister Christian's obviously.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
The Zoo by the Scorpions.
Nice.
Hicktown, obviously, which was already mentioned, so I didn't mention it again. Amanda and Cool the Engines by Boston off of Third Stage.
Wow, bro.
But I'm going to end
You're diverse. I like it.
End it with a guy that is very, very popular from New Jersey. He's rather liberal in his political stances, but his music is absolutely fantastic, and that's going to be 10th Avenue Freeze Out by Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, buddy. Nice.
Just that is right there. I mean, any Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd will just take you if you're cruising down the road. There's just so many.
That's on my list for sure.
Obviously Turbo Lover by Judas Priest and the video with the motorcycles.
Yeah.
The skeletons chasing them. But
Judas Priest.
I had to end it out. And if I'm going to end
we can keep going,
dude.
It's
going to be 10th Avenue Freeze Out by Bruce Springsteen. I just love the old Bruce Springsteen, even into his stuff, Born in the USA stuff. Some of his newer stuff I'm not so interested in. But, I have this album. Thunder Road is on this album. There's just some really cool songs, Working Man songs, Working Man, New Jersey, New York, it just kind of vibes that for me.
Yeah, bro. Nice. Not going to lie to you.
I know
this is probably one of the first songs I ever play on a motorcycle trip. I'm a Pearl Jam junkie. Me and Lurch went to a concert, was it last year or the year before, in Seattle?
I think it was 2 years.
2 years.
Because Scooter went to Metallica with his boy. Then you went to Pearl Jam, and then I went to Billy Joel.
That's right.
At Safeco, and that place was packed.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Pearl Jam junkie. I listened to Pearl Jam the whole time. But yeah, good list, bro. Good frickin' list. And with that said, we got to take it out of here. And we love our patron members. Of course, we want to get to know you better. We want you in the private Facebook group. We want to live chat and video broadcast with you. But hey, for whatever reason, the way you want to support us right now is through a flat donation. We never balk at a flat donation.
Yeah, we have Stanley Pfister, a substantial donation. Thank you, Stanley. John Malone of Burnt Hills, New York, and John Norris.
Lawabidingbiker.com/donate helps put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank so we can keep this thing heading on down the road. Don't forget, guys, a couple mentions. We've got F4 Customs windshields in the store. We've got Clockworks now. So if you're interested in Clockworks, Big Daddy has a stock of Clockworks.
Yes.
We got the new Sena HD speakers. You can upgrade the speakers on your, I don't remember off the top of my head, but 20S, 30K, 50S, something like that, right? It's in our listing.
They come with the 50s, but the 20S, 20S Evo, and the 30K mesh.
Very good. And then the 50S, I remember it's on our listing, not the 50K, but the 50S. But anyways, we've got those over there. They are a great upgrade. There's a video embedded on that listing. There's a few things you'll want to know about those upgraded high-def speakers for Sena headsets. If you're rocking a boombox system, the video will explain it all. I also put some very good language right there in the store listing because there are just a few limitations right now if you've got the boombox system on those. But anything else you want to mention from the store, Big Daddy, as we take it out?
Yeah, make sure you get your Law-Abiding Biker mechanic shirts or sweatshirts before they're all sold out.
Challenge coins over there too?
Challenge coins, but people have been begging for mechanic shirts and sweatshirts, and I made a special purchase, and they're almost all gone. They just flew off the shelves, but I did make a special order for a few more. So get it while you can. It's a beautiful gray mechanic shirt instead of the black ones, and it has a black logo.
It's badass looking.
It's badass looking.
You did a good job with those. Yep,
perfect for the summertime. Get a little bit of that heat off you from the sun.
Agree. Got one hanging behind us there. I've got several. One in the closet, one back there. But yeah, head over, guys. It is definitely a way you can support us. Is through our store, which is growing, and Big Daddy has got it packed down there because we keep adding products in a smaller space.
They're not $50 like at your dealerships or your expensive stores. I've priced them very reasonably with a very modest margin because we want you guys having them and showing off and people seeing us.
Being part of the biker revolution is what we want you part of, and by rocking that shirt, you're definitely part of the biker revolution, guys. Thanks for listening. Hoping it was a fun episode for you. I know you've all got your lists, and I strongly encourage you. Sometimes you guys forget, but you can actually comment on any podcast episode by simply heading over to lawabidingbiker.com/whatever the numbers are for the episode. So if it's like 262, it'll be 262. Whatever it is, I'm not saying that's the number for this one. Once you know the episode number, you can head right over. It takes you to our website. You can actually leave a comment. I would really like to know, you guys, pop your top 10 listening songs that you like listening to. It'd be fun to monitor that and see everybody. So just go over there, post it on the website. We would love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.